Hello, Evil.
What's up, Pipsqueak?
What are you doing back there?
Yeah, just picking up shit.
Dude, thanks, man. Hey, what do you say? When you get done back there, would you want to come up front and work with me? What do you say, pal?
I ain't your pal, dickface.
Wow. Okay. Trying to be nice for once. My therapist said it would do me good to be nice to my friends.
Whatever. Been taking testosterone pills. You know, I'm working on this new competition I'm doing, you know, where I smash bricks on my face.
Wait. That's a competition? Smashing bricks with your dome?
I'm getting pretty good too, man.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. You got a big-ass noggin.
Look back here, man. Look at this brick. This was a full fucking brick yesterday. Smash this. On my cranium. Look at it now, man. It's like 3/4 of a brick. Yeah, the fourth of that brick. Don't want none of this.
Okay, USA.
Fuck you, man. I'm out.
Dude. Evil. Please don't go home. I want to talk about my feelings. Oh, hello, internet fans, and welcome to 3B Video. I'm your host, Rottin Roger DeMarco, and today we're going to be talking about Newt Arnold's 1988 film, Bloodsport. For those of you who don't know about this film, here is your plot synopsis. This is based on the 100% absolutely true, not fabricated, real life story of Frank Dukes. False. So Jean-Claude Van Damme plays Frank Dukes, and he's going to honor his Shidoshi and his Shidoshi's late son's death at the Kumite in Hong Kong, where he's gonna go and fight a bajillion people of different fighting styles. And that's pretty much it. It's a Jean-Claude Van Damme revenge-esque buddy film that's based on a true story, which we'll talk about in a minute. But before we get into my overall thoughts of the film, first, let's take a look at Rottin Rogers!
Splatter facts.
We have 2 dead bodies. We have 0 titties. But we have 1 JCVD butt. The world's longest flashback, which turns into a training montage. Video game bonding, open palm brick breaking, gratuitous splits, gold tooth snatching, a martial arts montage, 1 extremely playful police chase, every spinning heel kick ever, obligatory booyahs, 1 inevitable showdown, total bro love, and 100% true world records. The methods of death include and are limited to off-screen and broken neck. Okay guys, so now on to my overall thoughts of this film. I grew up with this movie. I adore this movie, despite the fact that it is really not a true story. That doesn't change the fact that this is quite possibly the best Jean-Claude Van Damme movie ever made. So like I said, this is based on the true life events of Frank Dukes and an underground martial arts tournament that he competed in, which according to interwebs math and Fight Geek analysis would have had 72 trillion combatants for Frank Dukes to amass the record in which he amasses after 3 days of tournament fighting. So totally believable. 100% believable. The most believable martial arts film of all time. You can't prove it didn't happen.
I never said I was the only world champion.
And this movie is just, it's top to bottom fun. It's filled to the brim with so many quotable moments. Just pay me the biz punching bag, you forgot about our deal. And this movie is almost 100% responsible for getting me into that martial arts mood as a child. This and Ninja Turtles were kind of on the TV all the time and were what made me see the appeal in martial arts. This is just a pure testosterone film with a lot of different fighting styles represented, and this is a total precursor to early days of the UFC. When the Gracies created the UFC, they were doing this to sort of showcase each different martial art and what would be the definitive martial art, what would be the ultimate self-defense technique. And this movie sort of is UFC 1 through 20, because you're pitting different fighting styles against each other. You have like sumo wrestlers versus Muay Thai fighters. You have all these weird different styles present in the film, and any person who is a fan of martial arts, this is sort of their genesis. And if you look at JCVD's filmography across the board, in my opinion, hands down, this is the best that he's ever been. He's very sharp in this movie, he's fast, his technique is on point, and it has a story that sort of becomes the standard Jean-Claude Van Damme story later down the road. No matter how cheesy it is, it's still great across the board because you have all of these wonderful character actors in the movie, including a very young Forrest Whitaker. I don't think this movie would stay with us as much as it has if it wasn't for Bolo Yeung as Chung-Li. Chung-Li is the definitive bad guy. This guy is so imposing, just massive, terrifying, and a very talented martial artist to top it off, who's worked with Bruce Lee to Jackie Chan to Jean-Claude Van Damme and elsewhere. Some people are big Tong Po fans from Kickboxer, but my money is on Bolo Yeung as Chung-Li in Bloodsport. So an interesting anecdote about this film is that the real Frank Dukes trained Jean-Claude Van Damme to play him in this movie. And Jean-Claude Van Damme was quoted as saying that this was quite possibly the hardest training he's ever done in his life, which sounds really cool. When you look at the records that Frank Dukes amassed in this tournament, it sounds really amazing. But then once you pull the curtain back and you realize that Frank Dukes is an imposter, con artist, a liar, no good, dirty, lying bastard. It's very funny that he would be telling Jean-Claude Van Damme, like, no, you don't look buff enough. I looked better than this when I was in this tournament. No, I don't like the way you do the spinning heel kick. I would have done it this way. You can't discount Frank Dukes' actual training. He does have some training, so I don't want to say that he's not a martial artist or he wasn't talented in the arts, but it's kind of funny when you have a physical specimen as perfect as Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I said it. Jean-Claude Van Damme's the perfect man. What are you going to do about it?
And then you have Frank Dukes being like,
Maybe a little tighter on the head.
and I wonder where the bouillaise came from. That's another thing. I wonder if Frank Dukes was like, you know, when I would hit someone with the Denmark, I would shake my face and go, bouillaise, for like 45 seconds. Maybe. Don't know. And aside from the dynamic between Jean-Claude Van Damme and Bolo Yeung, you have the other dynamic between Jean-Claude Van Damme and Donald Gibb, who plays Jackson. And they both come together and become friends while they're competing in this tournament, even though the potential for them being opponents is very likely. They have this really playful relationship between them that seems like high school buddies, and you can tell that they really got along during the filming of this movie. You might remember him from Revenge of the Nerds. He plays Ogre, and he's big and scary and he screams all the time. Not much has changed. He's big, he's scary, he screams all the time. He's got a beard in this movie though. There's no martial arts training or technique whatsoever with Jackson. He's just this big, hulking, barroom brawler guy, and he has some of the best lines in the movie. Heard you can get killed at that tournament.
Only if you fuck up.
He's just hilarious. He's like the most manly man ever. And so there's these two sides of the coin. You have this barroom brawler with no technique and no proper training. And then you have Jean-Claude Van Damme, who is like super cool, calm, collective, and has the answer for every attack. So there's this really fun, playful thing between the two of them, and it's awesome to watch. So in my personal opinion, this movie is 100% popcorn as fuck. Because is it a true story? Fuck no. But does Jean-Claude Van Damme do the splits? Yes. Does Jean-Claude Van Damme open palm strike people in the gut and go bouillaise? Yes. He does all of these things. It's a very fun, fast-paced, true action movie that has been a part of my life for as long as I can remember. And if you haven't dived into the Jean-Claude Van Damme pool, start in the deep end, don't start in the shallow end, jump right in to Bloodsport, because it's fucking incredible. I mean, yes, a lot of it's fabricated. So I think that out there in the real world, movies like this get kind of picked apart because one, they're not historically accurate. Two, they're just a bold-faced lie. And three, it's just a very silly tournament-based karate movie with handsome people that are all sweaty doing a bunch of badass kicks and punches and stuff like that. But in here, in 3B video, this B movie is the movie. So, I suppose I should probably get going, because after all, there's a lot of movies out there and somebody's got to watch them, so why not me, right? And thank you guys for watching. Remember,
Anytime, any place, anywhere, I'll be there.
I love you, my friends.
Okay, that actually they broke. Cut.